going on, guys? Matt at Middleton Motorsports here. Another episode of Behind the Tune. Today on the dyno, Camaro ZL1. I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll go up here and take a look at this thing. So, 2018 ZL1 LT4 car. This is a 10-speed automatic. This car has been into the shop here before. Last year we did some work to it, some tuning work to it, I should say. And the owner did another round of mods here. So we'll kind of do a little bit of a recap. It's got a Rotofab 5-inch Big Gulb. It's got a larger throttle body, 105 millimeter. It has a 2.3-inch pulley. It's got the stock balancer. It's got a set of 2-inch headers on it. The snout is ported to match the throttle body. The new mods, and it did have a flex fuel sensor, and I did do an E42 on this, I believe, last summer. The big addition to it now that the owner just completed is port injection. So, TooHighPSI port injection system. Set of plates that get sandwiched in between the supercharger, and you can kind of see them down in here. Hopefully the camera's picking these up. You can kind of see the billet goodness down here. Sandwich in between the supercharger and the cylinder head. That allows provisions for 8 more injectors to be added on top of the direct injectors. So raises the fuel ceiling way, way up. These systems are good for well over 1,000 to the wheels. Obviously this setup is not going to make that, but it does raise the ability to go from like an E40 tune, which is about what the limit is on a bolt-on LT4 on, with the stock cam and exhaust, and he did have just the stock pulley on it before. I was able to get it, I think, to like E45, and we are out of injector, out of high pressure pump. So again, that port injection system allows us to add airflow, and we have enough fuel to support it. So there's an additional controller that ties into the GM network, and it uses the mass airflow sensor frequency output, and then you go into using Tuner Pro RT, you go into that controller, and you kind of make adjustments. You can make adjustments to when and how much the port injectors are injecting. And it works really nice. I've been using them for years. The guy and his son that started TooHighPSI, he used to work for Magnuson Superchargers, and he's a really smart guy. And he worked with Reflex. Reflex is who makes the controller. Reflex is very popular in the BMW world for the turbocharged inline 6 stuff, and really seamless integration. Works really nice. Yeah, and it's a great product, and you can make big power with it. So I have in the past, I've made 4-digit numbers several times with these port injection systems with bigger superchargers or turbos and various other combinations. And it even works great on more mild stuff like this. So yeah, basically this is like a bolt-on car, but with the addition of the port injection now, we can go quite a bit further on the fueling, and obviously there's enough room now for full E85, not just E40 or E45. This is where I'm at. Take a look at this dyno graph. This is where I'm at so far. Seeing about 13 pounds of boost with that 2.3 pulley. And yeah, big torque, 740, pretty typical out of the LT4. Stock blowers make big torque. They have a really flat boost curve. When you have the stock inlet without any porting, they make a lot of boost down low, make a lot of torque. So, combined with a larger cubic inch engine that the LT engines are, 6.2 liters, you end up with that real big torque peak right at the bottom there. I mean, it's peaking torque at 3,500. You can see 3,600. But even down at 2,500 RPM down here, it's 2,500 RPM. We're over 700 foot-pounds of torque at 2,500 RPM. So without a sticky tire, they love to just shred tires. So but they're fun to drive. I had a Camaro at one point. I had a 6-gen Camaro and an awesome car, great track cars. Yeah, so this is where I'm at so far. I'm going to do one more pull here. We'll video that. We can take a look at the dyno graph. This car, I'm kind of working backwards on. Normally on these port injection systems or any flex fuel setup, this car is flex fuel obviously, I'll start on pump gas, 91 or 93, and then I'll work up to ethanol. This car, because I've done these port injection systems before, and I'm very familiar with the tuning and kind of where to be, and how to kind of set them up between the stock ECU on HP tuners and the reflex controller using the Tuner Pro RT. I know kind of where you end up on the 85, so I'm kind of working backwards on it. I'm going to start, because he brought it in with E70, so I'm going to start on the ethanol. And then tomorrow, it's getting late here in the evening. I got time for just one more pull here, just because of our sound ordinance in town. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to drain the E out. I'm going to put some 91 in it and just make sure the fueling and the timing are where I want it to be on the 91. So this is E70, the 716, 741 torque. This is the E70 pull. So if you guys, this is all you wanted to see, this is what it makes on E70. Probably pretty much what it makes on E75 or E80. Once you get to 70%, you're pretty much there. There's really not much to be had. So one more pull here, and we'll take a look at some data logs, and then it'll be to the next day for me. For you guys, it'll just clip over to the end of the video here. I'll run this thing on 91, and we can take a look at the comparison between 91 and E70 that this car has in it now. Just to kind of get a comparison of the difference in timing, because that's going to be the big thing. And the little bit of cooling effect the E85 has, obviously. So I'm going to set the camera down. We're going to rip one more pull on this thing. We'll take a look at some data logs, and then we'll get this E out, go down to 91, and we'll run it again. Guys, so as predicted, 91 octane, lost about 70 horsepower. So just like I thought, 650. So we still made 650, which is actually pretty good. The ethanol content, I wasn't able to get all the way down to 0. It's about 12%. I just can't get every last drop of ethanol out of the tank, because he did come in with 3/4 of a tank of E70. So, but that's a pretty good representation of E70 to about 12% mixed with 91 octane, or E85 mixed, just a little bit of E85 in the tank, put 5 gallons of 91 in, brought the ethanol content down to 12%, and there you go. You can also see how, the graph, because there's so much less timing, the engine's running in a lot less efficiency range for timing, and you can see how much wavier the graph gets, because the combustion just isn't as efficient. So, but yeah, that'll wrap it up for the dyno portion of this vehicle. We can go take a look at the data log. I did have a little bit of knock right as I hit the throttle. Get this door shut so that's not beeping on us. And but otherwise, you can see that spike and knock when I punch the throttle there. So I'll have to pull some more timing out of the main spark table down in the bottom there. That's right about 2,000 RPM. It hit a bit of knock there. So, but otherwise, you can see the timing here where we were like in this mid-range area. We were 22. We're at 14, and I was ramping to 28. Now we're ramping to 19. So you can see the timing is quite a bit less, and this is just where it liked it. I had it up around 20, 21 degrees up here. It was starting to tickle the knock sensors up here. So this is what it is. One of the big differences between having the ability to run E85 and pump gas is obviously the timing amount is quite a bit more on the ethanol. So air fuel, I'm a little richer on the air fuel, but you can see I'm hovering, like I was saying before. I'm hovering that low 0.8 range, 8.1, 8.0, 8.1, and it's kind of just starting to lean out just a smidge at the top. But with port injection, that's where these LTs are happy, right around that that 0.8 to 0.82 range. You can lean them up a little bit towards the top end on ethanol, maybe 0.83, 0.84. They'll still be making peak power there, but on the pump, I know this customer will primarily run this vehicle on ethanol. So I just want the pump gas tune to be safe. I'm not trying to extract the most out of this pump gas tune, because I know he will only run pump gas in situations where he absolutely has to, where maybe he doesn't have ethanol available to him if he's out on a cruise or drives it out of state or out of his area. From this vehicle and a previous vehicle I tuned to his years ago, I know he pretty much always runs ethanol in his vehicles. So I just want the pump gas tune, obviously, to work and drive, and the fuel trims are looking really good, but I want it to be safe. So I'm not trying to extract the last bit of 10 horsepower out of it on pump. So yeah, this is looking really good. I'll probably knock a little bit of timing out of the main table down here. I kind of got on the throttle pretty abruptly on that dyno hit just to see what it would do, and it did pick up a knock. The previous 2 dyno pulls I did on the pump gas, it didn't do that, so I'll have to pull a little bit out. Some of that is burst knock too. I do leave the burst knock enabled on these stock cam cars, so you're going to see some of that as burst knock, where the ECU is pulling timing preemptively before it's even seeing knock. So when I'm data logging, this data logging view I'm looking at, I'm just logging total knock retard, and total knock retard can include preemptive like burst knock and static knock retard, where you can pull timing per individual cylinders, and that's the ECU actually just taking timing out of its knock, using its knock system without even seeing knock. It's just pulling timing preemptively before it sees knock, based on some settings in the spark. So you got like the static retard and the burst knock. So I still have some of the burst knock enabled, so that will kick off some knock preemptively before the knock sensors are even seeing activity. So some of that is probably that, but I still am going to pull some of the timing out of the bottom there just so it's a little safer on the main spark table. Otherwise, this is looking good. Air fuel's nice and flat. We're still hitting that, 13 pounds of boost, obviously. Spark looks good. Everything's looking really nice. I'm gonna dump the ethanol back in it. There's about a 1/4 tank in it. You can see that the ethanol content, like I was saying, 12.2. So, like I said, not able to get every last drop of ethanol out of the tank. I can pump it till the pump starts to run dry, and that's as far as I can go, really. So, and then I put 5 gallons of 91. I could fill it with 91, but I pumped his ethanol that he brought the car in with into some cans. I'm just going to dump that back in, bring the ethanol content back up, and he'll be on his way and enjoying his newfound power. So that'll wrap it up for this one, guys. Appreciate you guys watching and taking this journey with me on this particular vehicle. Keep checking back on our channel for more videos. We always have more content. The guys just got back from Texas over the weekend, so there's going to be a lot more content from that. So check out our Instagram and Facebook group, our website if you want to see some other stuff, and obviously our YouTube channel. There'll always be more videos coming out on the YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you guys later.